on. Hey, girl. Hey.
We just lost every listener.
You're
every
welcome.
one of the 5 listeners. Every 5
Hey, girl,
listeners.
hey.
Hi, how's it going? How's it going
Not too
today?
bad. How about you, girl? What's new with ya?
I'm just, I'm living. I'm tired. I'm still recovering from like just this. I've had a nutty week, and which was not. I really wanted a nice, easy week because my last weekend was so crazy. But nope, that's not what the good Lord
You
said.
do this to yourself, right?
You do this to yourself, honey. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. Stop doing this to yourself, girl.
I mean, where's the lie?
I mean, sure. That's all I got. Sorry,
dear
that's all I
listeners,
got.
for those of you that don't know, the life of a drag queen is not, of an active drag queen, is not the easiest life, right? Especially one that does their own seamstressing, and then they've got shows, and then like...
And then there's the improv on top of that.
And then there's also like... Maim is a semi-professional, somewhere between amateur and professional drag queen, right? I wouldn't call you a professional because you don't. That's not your primary.
It's not my full-time job, but I mean, I do now at this point have 2 weekly recurring shows.
Right. So it's semi-pro, like semi-pro, because you're
I'm
traveling
just a
to
working
like
girl.
New York.
I'm just a working girl.
Actually, I guess your first like travel thing would be to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, I guess I guess that's one of those things where I suppose it would sound a little bit conceited to be like, where'd you start? Miami. Right? Like, it's just, that's how I feel, kind of like that groany way, the way the girls do that on Drag Race. You're like, yeah, I moved to New York and I have my own show and I'm the best thing ever. I'm just like,
and then they don't win.
And then they never win. They never win. They never win. There's charisma, uniqueness, nerve, talent, and humbleness.
Right. Whereas you've got people like Simone who start off in back-ass words, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah. And like the popular one's Heidi in Closet from Ramseur, North Carolina.
Not Ramseur, Henny. Not
Ramseur, North Carolina.
That's a warehouse girl right there.
I know the gas station she used to work at. Because I have stopped there on my way home, taking 421 home from Raleigh to
my
Statesville.
husband swears that we have to be related. He swears we have to be related.
No.
He does. He's
no.
Like, I mean, there are traits about Heidi when Heidi was out of drag. There are traits that I'm like, some of my country relatives, she does remind me of them.
But are you related to anybody in Ramseur besides that 1/16 Cherokee that everybody's got in that part of the state?
We don't know. You know that we don't even know our whole own family line. It's not even. Remember, we have a dead end of our family.
That's fair.
A dead end.
That's
a dead
very,
end
very
and
fair.
What do they call it? A dead end and a what is the thing when they route you around the traffic jam? Like, what is it called?
A reroute? Like...
What is that? There's a word.
A detour.
Detour. We have a dead end and a detour, girl.
A dead end and a detour in your family tree.
Me and my mother were just talking about this.
God almighty.
We were just talking about this because, it's dead end and a detour, girl. And I don't even know all the traffic stops on the detour still in my life.
I had to switch you to my good ear because I got a bad ear and a good ear because, I'm old. So I had to switch you to my good ear so I could hear you perfectly. Did you know that?
I did notice that. I was like, I wonder if her ear is hurting or something like that. What's happening?
I'm just a mess. That's all it is. That's all it is.
And that's why we love you.
It's true. It's true. Have you been watching the Olympics?
I did watch some curling because, my father instilled in me a love of curling, which is very weird.
Did you watch the women today? Is that what you were watching?
No, I didn't watch today at all. I think it was like 3 days ago.
So I was watching it yesterday or 2 days ago. It was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Canada versus Sweden. Sounds right. Something like that.
Okay.
And the announcer said, I clicked it on. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing something on my computer, getting ready for this. Probably that's a lie. But, and the announcer said, he is one of the most yoked athletes at this Olympics. And I looked up and I was like, what are they talking about? I didn't see the person they were talking about. But he's like the biggest guy here. I'm like, what? What are you? What?
I would think that, especially in the Winter Olympics, you would think that there are other sports probably.
Yeah.
But part of the Winter Olympics, I'm like, I feel like that can't be the right. That can't be.
His guts can't work there this year.
Girl, he's working a different ring right now.
I know, ain't that a cock ring?
He's like, no, Lord, I'm sorry, I'm done with the Olympics. I got different things to swing on. I'm done.
I've saved all the dogs, and now I'm a puppy.
Apparently, apparently he actually is that. There's some kind of thing about like the person he's been dating is like a bit older than him. So yeah, like I thought that was funny because he did that weird special with that guy, the football guy or the whatever guy that was on The Bachelor.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, and apparently he now is also dating a bit of an older fellow, and I was just like, "Oh, Gus taught you well." Right.
You know, get them dollar bills, y'all, wherever you can.
Dollar bills and experience, honey. They
dollar
will teach
bills
you.
And experience. Find your Anderson Cooper. Find your Anderson Cooper. Dear listeners, if you don't learn anything from this podcast, it is find your Anderson Cooper. Whether you are gay, whether you're straight, whether you're male, female, anything in between, you know, the whole rainbow, everybody. Find your Anderson Cooper. Or Gloria Vanderbilt if you like them real old.
I remember when I used to put that out in the universe that I was like, maybe one day I can be Anderson Cooper. I mean... Ugh. I don't think Anderson Cooper's unattractive. I had a crush on him from back in Channel One days.
See, no, he didn't do it for me in Channel One days. I just thought he was real old reading us the news.
And he wasn't that much older.
He was the oldest one there. Like
he was like 10 years older than he was like 24.
No, he had to be older than that.
He's only in his like early 50s now.
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, my Lord. Really? Really? Good gosh. He can't help it that he pulled a Steve Martin and went prematurely gray. He can't help it.
Look, I did too. So I learned something about this podcast. He went
prematurely white.
Yeah. Nah, he only likes Latinos. Anyway.
I thought that guy was Israeli that he's with.
Oh, probably now, but the ones he had a whole long string of little Latino boys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Little Latin boys not in drag.
Yeah, no, not like Georges. They were not Georges.
Oh my God, Georges is literally John Leguizamo's character is literally.
Dear listeners,
I just realized that. Oh my
God. I know we release some podcasts and, you know, sometimes we'll be a little bit off of where Drag Race actually is, but, you know, we're gay and it's what we have to talk about.
It's our Super Bowl.
It's our Super Bowl. We got 2 drag races going on right now,
mm-hmm.
and one is more important than the other.
One of them is determining the fate of the world. I wish it was that important. I wish desperately it was that important.
Somebody like I believe you followed them too. There's somebody online that was a podcast that no longer does stuff now. That was asking who people think are going to win this season of Drag Race. So I said, or who the Final Four in Drag Race are going to be. So I said it's going to be Willow Pill, and Jujubee. It's going to be a crossover. She's going to come back to the United States.
Oh, that would be a great finale, right? Like, what if at the very end of the season, the final dragon you have to slay is a lip sync against the winner of like UK versus the world. That would
Well,
be that would be nice.
there's only one of them there that can actually really lip sync.
I know.
It ain't Juju.
No.
It ain't anybody from the UK.
Oh my god. Do you think, I mean, just this, calling it like how I personally feel it, kind of like the very first
Jimbo.
the very first the very first Project Runway All Stars, where we were like, oh, you guys just invented this so Mondo could win.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
who do you think is the pre-chosen winner for UK versus the world?
So I, honest to God, at the very beginning thought it was going to be Lemon. Right. I thought until she decided not to care that she was there, because she didn't. She
did not.
She
that
was
that talent thing.
Yeah. And it's not Jujubee either, because Jujubee's just there to get a check. I think it may be girl, I don't have her name.
Okay, can you describe her for me?
The black one.
Oh, Monique.
Monique, there you go.
I mean, technically, dear
Mayhem
listeners,
was what was coming by the
dear listeners. That might have sounded a little odd, but honestly, it's because there have been so many different queens, and there's only one black queen in the UK versus the world.
Right.
This time, somehow.
Well, the reason why is, and there is a reason. The second season of UK Drag Race was too soon, so they couldn't bring those girls back.
That's true.
And they couldn't have more than one black American girl, because that would be, they already don't know how to handle American girls.
No.
And they would not know how to handle.
No.
Like, it would blow their minds.
I would have loved to have seen Tia Coffee.
That's the one I would want. I
would love to see Tia Coffee. I feel like she'll be in the next one.
Yeah.
I think
she
she'll
was
be in the next
there,
one.
or Taste, I would say they are probably the ones to.
Ooh, the next time, I already can have a feeling. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like it's going to be Australia that does the next verses.
Okay.
But I feel like Taste is definitely coming from the UK. Like,
you know who is not going to be there? Bimini. She's too big now.
I know Bimini is gigantic.
My girl, the one who should have won.
The one we both were in very much agreement. We're like, if she doesn't win, it literally doesn't matter, because
it was
the
rigged.
entire UK has fallen head over heels for this one. So,
Yup.
good for Lawrence Chaney, because she's available.
Lawrence Chaney, she's available.
Just saying.
She's available.
Think about everything Bimini's been doing, right? Think about everything Bimini's been doing.
Speaking of being available, did you know that we have a Patreon?
You shut the front door. We don't.
We do. It is patreon.com/Mims and Maim.
Did we even say the name of the program at the very beginning of this episode, or we just started talking?
We always just start talking. That's what we always do.
I know, but I feel like maybe we should have, because this one's still kind of new.
Nah, girl, nah. We ain't ever done it before. Why would we start now? Look, we got this podcast already has like 16 listeners.
Oh my God. Hey, 16. Oh, our sweet 16.
There's like 8 from the United States. And only one that you would know, because I think it's only one from Florida. And the rest are from India. And something tells me there's something called a golden palace in India, so they think it's about that. But whatever. Thank you for listening.
I loved watching Sophia do that Bollywood number. It was magnificent. Who knew an old lady could move like that and sing for 3 hours straight? I'm in awe.
With you. I am done with you right now. I am
Wasn't
done.
it? I mean,
anyway, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Mims and Maim.
Blanche
Mims
Ganesh.
and Maim.
Blanche as Ganesh. It was just too much. Oh man, how did they get those extra arms on
We
her?
have 2 other podcasts. Did you know that, Maim?
I've been talking to my therapist about them. Yes.
We have one that is a designing women podcast called Baking Sugar. And we have one that is a Murder, She Wrote podcast called You Slay Me. If you search for Mims and Maim wherever you get your podcasts, you can find them all.
Hang out with us.
Hang out with us. We also have like 2 or 3 legacy podcasts where we tried some stuff and I just haven't taken it offline.
Yeah. We're like your two fun gunkles that get in drag when we're drunk, but we're not drunk, strangely enough, despite what that review said.
God.
Despite what that review said.
Despite what that, you're still bitter about that review. It wasn't even a review. It was just it was a Facebook comment. It
counts as a review. He's reviewing us.
Facebook comment. Speaking of Facebook, dear listeners, you can follow these podcasts on Facebook, and now Facebook has a podcast streaming app. Only on your phone, not on your computer door, only on your phone.
Cool. Thanks, Zuck.
Yeah, thank you, Meta. Thank you, Meta. That's real meta.
Glad we're getting this in exchange for giving you all of our personal information forever.
Yeah, well, same for Spotify. How about we get into this episode?
Not Spotify, girl. You're going to get Neil Young mad at us. Come on now.
God, or India Ree. Like her stuff was, I don't care about this vaccination. Hubble used the N-word like 20 times. Can we please talk about that? And I apologize for putting an affectation on my voice. I will take a step back now.
Don't fall off the cliff, girl. Don't fall off the cliff.
What's going on? This is season 1.
Magic.
Episode 2. There's only one season, y'all. Season 1, episode 2.
The season finale. Every episode. Every episode is a...
Season 1, episode 2. Promotional considerations.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a power.
Thank you for being a friend.
I hate it so much.
Travel down the road and back again.
Oh, gosh.
I think they added a beat to it. A slightly different beat.
It's a different beat. The whole structure of it's different. Like it's not. Here's the thing, though, right?
From the first episode, I think they changed it up a little.
Yeah,
bit.
No, it is a little bit. It is a little bit more evolved. I wrote that. So I wrote here. Why is the intro like the post-credit music? Why is the intro music exactly the same music as from Golden Girls? Like, couldn't they have changed? Like,
here's the thing: if you're gonna keep that the same, why not keep the same thing?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking.
Either change them both, or keep what. I don't know. Dear listeners, we don't hate this show that much.
You think that the lady, that they approached the lady and she like read the first script and she was like, no.
I am not your friend. We cannot do this.
We're no longer friends anymore. Sorry. Don't come to my party. Don't invite anybody,
We're at the hotel because where else would we be?
That's right. It's just like Golden Girls. We only have one set and a couple of additional rooms.
And Oliver, we find out, has been cleaning the hotel, and Sophia has been paying him.
That lucky little scamp, Oliver.
That scamp, that little child actor.
Do you think that they named him Oliver intentionally, like hearkening back to the other story?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. I think it's a consider yourself moment.
I wonder if that little boy did the voice of Oliver in the Disney movie Oliver also.
Wrong. Oh my God.
Oliver and Company? Yeah, I wonder. Because now that I think about it, his voice does kind of sound like that cat.
Hey, Google. Okay, Google. It's not working. It never works because it's not ever charged. So, funny story. I was listening to this podcast in my car. And when I started doing that, the podcast stopped and Google went bloop. Like my voice from the... Oh, God. Let's see here. Do you know who Oliver was in Oliver and Company?
Who was it?
Joey Lawrence. Whoa.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
He was really young then, too. Yeah. Oh, that was like back when he was on Give Me a Break.
Yeah. At that Kit Kat bar.
Give me a break. Yeah. Oh, we should do a podcast about Give Me a Break.
Oh, my God. Nell Carter. Is that available somewhere?
Oh,
I love that. Oh, I forgot about that show until just now.
I am. Oh boy.
How many seasons is that? Dear listeners,
I sure need one. Yeah.
give me a break. American sitcom was 6 seasons long.
Oh Lord Jesus.
And it's only on Tubi.
What? What is that?
So, dear listeners, we will not be doing that. I apologize.
What the heck is Tubi? What is that?
So, Blanche is like, it's slow around here. We need to watch out how much we're paying people.
Yeah.
And Rose has an idea of what to do to drum up business. And everybody laughs at her because Rose is stupid.
Yeah, we're back to that again.
She wasn't laughed at she was made
no one
fun
ever,
of, but
no one ever did that on Golden Girls. Not one time did people just laugh at her like that.
no, it was more of a frustration, but not a direct, ugh.
It was the eye roll.
Yes.
Now it's like, geez, guys, like you're kind of being dicks.
So her idea is to advertise.
Yes.
And she said, let's use a flyer. And Sophia lets us know that Dorothy actually found a flyer for Shady Pines on her car, and that's how she ended up there.
The funniest moments of this show are also always back in reference to Dorothy.
Uh-huh. Well, Roland enters.
Roland!
And we find out that the Don Cheadle is grumpy in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So Rose suggests that he start singing Zippity Doo Dah.
Oh, and for dear listeners that haven't watched this show yet and you don't know who Don Cheadle is, he's a African-American gentleman.
Yes. And for those of you that don't know about Zippity Doo Dah, look it up, y'all.
Look up Zippity Doo Dah and Disney Vault.
Yes. You won't be able to find it.
That's what I said. It's behind the Disney Vault.
It is locked away. But somehow Peter Pan is still allowed to be shown.
Well, I think it's because in Peter Pan, there is a different connotation, there still is, about making light of, fun of racist intentions toward Native Americans than there is. Like, it's just a thing, right? Like, it's just a thing. Just like the
what about the Jim Crows from Dumbo?
Same thing. I heard those got cut actually from the edit.
Did they?
Yeah, they find like Disney put that little sticker on it first, and then like, you know what? I think maybe
I don't see. Here's the thing about the Jim Crows, not about the rest of them. I don't think beside the name, I don't think they were that bad, right? Because they weren't lazy. They were just making fun. That is. I mean, all they
were
did.
Actually no. I would say I take that. I would disagree.
Okay.
Because if you watch the Jim Crows, they are perpetuating at the time the stereotypes that a lot of black actors had to portray at the time, like when they played like butlers, when they played servants of any kind, because it's like they talk like this, like there's a way that they do their lines that perpetuates.
Dear listeners and ma'am, keep in mind I have not watched Dumbo since I was
sweet
like
Lord.
7.
But it's funny though.
It was never one of my favorites.
Well, I think, you know what though? I mean, this is just me personally. I mean, you know, we're not exactly the most right-leaning people. But I just feel like I don't think anything should be cut at this point. I just don't, because I feel like putting things away, I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's the answer, because honestly, like Song of the South, good gracious, kids should see like how insane things used to be, how like they need to see what used to be mainstream.
It's true.
Like, that is to me, that's an important conversation. It's like, hey, you know, we should talk about this, right? Like, if we watch this movie, we need to talk about it, because...
Dear listeners, I would like to interject. This does not mean that Confederate memorials should be allowed. there's a difference between our media history and allowing adults to talk about it and have discourse, and having memorials up to racists and slave owners. That is two completely different items.
Very different. So different. So different. Speaking of racist people, what about Blanche?
Oh, well, Ken McCallan is showing up.
Yes. What a name.
And there's a fight over between Blanche and Roland, who should be at the front desk to handle him. Because Roland's like, I run this hotel. I know what I'm doing. Blanche's like, I'm the boss. I own this hotel. We own this hotel. Yeah, I own this hotel. I'm the boss. You know, back and forth. And she's like, I'm going to be there and do it. You do inventory. How long does it take to do inventory in a hotel this small? Probably about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
With not that many customers, apparently. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're going through stuff.
We're at the front desk a little bit later now. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we find out that Sophia and Oliver, consider yourself, are getting ready to give out flyers.
Yes.
So she calls, my favorite thing that Blanche calls Sophia is talking prune, which turns into a racist joke directly. I was not expecting that, but there's
I wasn't either. I was kind of like, oh gosh, guys.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And this was after Dance of the Wolves came out.
Yeah.
So clearly they didn't watch that movie.
Rose shows up, and she's got a good advertising opportunity.
Oh, wow, Rose.
The Barbara McGant show is going to have their guests stay there. Oh. Rose had to act fast, so she couldn't let Blanche know beforehand.
Oh, no.
But she did get this. Blanche is upset that she was not asked.
Blanche is just kind of like upset a lot in this episode.
She is. And there's a suggestion of a hotel mascot. The Gold Palace, not a bad place to be. And there's no sheep, Rose. No sheep.
I did giggle with that, actually.
Yeah. So going back to the flyer, I missed that Sophia and Oliver are giving out free margarita flyers. It's a free margarita. It's Sophia's idea to get them drunk, take their keys, and have them stay.
Yes. I mean, it's not an impossible plan. It is a little bit, extra, but not impossible.
Yeah. So Roland comes downstairs. Excuse me, I need a sip of water for this.
Yes.
Roland comes downstairs and is like, hey, you wanted the person in charge to check in Ken McGowan. He's names. Just wait till we get to...
Oh, I love
and he's like, I'm the one in charge, so I'm going to check him in. And Blanche's like, no, I'm the one in charge. I'm going to check him in. No, I'm the one in charge. I'm going to... No, it's me. I'm in charge. I mean, so...
It was just a lot.
I mean...
It was a lot. And it wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And unfortunately, I don't know how you feel about this, but Roland is being highly inappropriate. She could just fire his ass.
No, yeah, no, I totally, I felt like Roland was being, to me, like, it was still like he was running the place, like completely running the place. Mm-hmm. And I do feel like, yes, Blanche is the owner of the hotel now.
Right.
But we're only in our second episode. And somehow I feel like Blanche hasn't gotten that much experience in running a hotel in the last
I agree.
period of time. Especially because she's like, we're slow again. I'm like, well, maybe. So I totally understand. But at the same time, I did feel like he was kind of skating a very thin line. That this episode could have gone in a different direction.
So McCowan does show up, and they like Blanche and Roland go back and forth as to which room they're going to be in, and one's got fruit, one's got champagne. Blanche's like, well, I'll show you both. You can pick for yourself. When they offer him champagne, he's like, no, I've got this coupon for a margarita.
Joke pays off.
Does it?
No.
Okay.
But, I thought one thing that was really strange is that, man, they really set up that character and then never used him again.
Yeah. I mean, and Blanche used the word usurped a lot.
Yeah.
She's being usurped.
Yeah.
Usurped.
I think she
Rue
just
McClanahan, I'm sorry you had to do this, girl. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Eddie. Rest in peace.
God. So we're in the kitchen, and the kitchen is out of stakes because Sophia took them out of the freezer.
Fridge.
They were thawed, took them
Yep.
out of the fridge, and put them back in the freezer, which,
You can't
dear listeners, that is food safety critical. You cannot do that.
Yes.
You can cook them and freeze them, but once you do that, then bacteria start growing.
Yep.
Yup.
I love that your scientific brain is like, don't ever do this, dear listeners. Don't ever.
No, you shouldn't. You should also, there's another thing that Americans do that is insane that you should stop doing. Washing chicken before you cook it. It is absolutely insane.
Wait, washing chicken? Who washes chicken?
A lot of people wash the chicken, and they take out the package, they wash the chicken off in the sink, and then they cook it.
Why?
I don't know, but it spreads salmonella. It's a thing. Like, I had somebody tell me that. I was like, hold on, wait, what'd you just say to me? They're like, yeah, you wash chicken before you cook it. I was like, allow me to show you what the USDA says about that. There's a whole page at the USDA that says, do not wash your chicken before you cook it. I kid you not.
Weird.
Yes, people are odd.
That's very weird.
Yeah. It's them white people not trusting not trust anything but white meat is what it is. Got to get every little bit of black out of this. Got to clean it.
What is that, some black? Oh, that's some blood. I gotta get that off.
Yeah.
That's gonna make my iron too rich. I'm gonna make my skin change color. Can't be having no iron rich blood, girl.
I just can't. Oh God.
I'm sure that there's some part of white supremacy that's like, that's why the master ate the white meat and they gave the dark meat to the dark people because that's what kept them that way. I'm sure there's some idiot out there that's saying that.
Is that I just felt like the master ate all of the meat because I know the sub doesn't get anything. Wait, we're talking about two different things here.
Wow, we just went down a different pathway. Oh my gosh. Also, the fact that is a thing.
Yes. Where are we at here? Oh,
the meat. We're talking about the meat.
So Chewie calls the butcher.
Yes.
To order more meat, and he's like, "I don't care how much it costs, just order the meat." And Blanche walks in and is like, "No, you can't do that." And Roland then walks in and is like, everyone, just go back to the old way of doing things. It was easier. It was better. We could get shit done. Know your place, Blanche.
Yep.
Which, Howie still has a job.
Not. Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, no, he didn't.
That's when they
say, oh, no,
had,
he didn't?
Yeah, that's when they should have had Blanche, like just have a moment where she, like, calls Roland's mama or something like that.
You
She's
know.
like, I'm gonna teach. She like, I need somebody to teach you some manners, and then here comes Patty LaBelle. Like,
No. Let's make it Nell Carter. Give Me a Break was off the air at this time, so why
I don't
not?
think Nell Carter would be old enough to be Roland's mother back then, though. Actually, I don't think Patty LaBelle would be old enough to be Roland's mother back then. Ooh, Cicely Tyson.
She could give that same speech she gave in oh God, what's the name of that movie? Big Mama's House. Which one is it?
No, Miss Jane Pittman. The Diary of Miss Jane Pittman. That's the one. Or no, you mean Oh, the Tyler Perry one.
The Tyler Perry, where
was
she
it Mad
sat
Diary of a Mad
outside.
Black Woman? Diary of a Mad
Yes,
Black Woman?
it's a Diary of a Mad Black Woman where she gives her speech
That speech that she's gave many times.
many times.
And I will sit and watch it every time.
Every time. She's so captivating. Or have his sister, Taraji P. Henson, show up and be like...
Wouldn't Taraji P. Henson be like a child back, like maybe 15 at that point?
I don't know. How old is she? Is she our age?
I think she's in her 50s.
Okay.
So she'd be like my brother's age back then, and that wasn't that old.
Girl, speaking of Taraji, you saw the most recent episode of...
oh, yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
when she was like, I really love... what's her name? The girl from Atlanta.
Oh, I can never get her name.
Yeah.
I know who you're saying, though, but I can never remember how to
When
pronounce
she
her name.
said she loved that outfit with the fans, I was like, girl, you probably wore that in Empire.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure. Probably multiple times. Multiple versions of it.
times.
Multiple versions of it. Ooh, Empire was so good. That was such a hot mess show. I loved it.
It was good for like the first 2 seasons. Then it went.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't watch it after that.
Wait.
I didn't watch it after that, girl.
Was that Ryan Murphy?
No, that was
Okay. Didn't it
that
feel
was-
like it could be Ryan Murphy?
No, it did. That was what's his name? What's his name? He directed let's move on. I am not gonna
So
remember
we
his name.
find out who the TV promo guests are going to be.
Yes.
Men who kill and are set free.
Yes.
And then enter the
Grace.
shining star of this episode.
Which, by the
Dear
way,
listeners.
at this point, he was like A-list person.
It was the only time he ever was.
That audience lost their minds.
Enter him. Oh my God! I
Oh,
can't do his
jeez.
voice.
So let me say something about him specifically that
Uh-huh.
I caught very much off guard,
Okay.
which is we are so old now.
Uh-huh.
We are so old now that on this week's episode
Uh-huh.
of Wait, Don't Tell Me,
Yeah.
Bobcat Goldthwait is a panelist.
Dear, he's been a panelist for like the past decade.
No, I'm just saying, like, this episode reminded me of like, oh wow,
I got
like
you. I
just
got
how
you.
far we've come.
God.
So far, we've come.
Yeah,
so far.
I just that one TV show with him as a bunny that was so weird.
Greg the Bunny,
Greg the Bunny. Was it Greg the Bunny? I thought Greg
Yeah.
the Bunny was
Oh,
the
wait.
cartoon.
Unhappily Ever After.
Unhappily Ever After. That's it. It wasn't
always-
good, y'all.
No, it wasn't good. That
There's
was where
just-
we got. That's where we got Nikki Cox from. Oh,
It
Nikki
is.
Cox.
There's just one scene that I remember. There was a crazy grandmother who lived with them, and there's a scene where like everybody in the house is upset, and she just comes out of the kitchen and starts singing "Fever," and snapping, and then going back to get back in the kitchen. And I lived for that moment, and that is all I remember from that show.
It was everything. It was everything.
Oh God!
Why did Nikki Cox quit acting?
Oh,
Comedian,
why did she quit acting? Do
comedian
tell.
Jay Moore
Uh-huh.
reportedly said that Nikki's declining mental health and drug addiction as
Oh,
the reason.
no.
Oh, that's
No.
really sad.
Oh no! Don't.
I didn't
bring
know that she had like I didn't know that she was married to Jay Moore. That's crazy. That's sad.
Did he have an acting career? Is that what the crazy part?
Well, that too. Oof,
God,
boy,
there's only one movie I liked with him in it.
what was it?
Go! I love that movie.
Oh, that's such a good movie. But it wasn't good because of him. It was just a
No,
good
it was good
movie.
because of everybody else.
That
And
was
wasn't
such
Scott
a good
Wolf a
movie.
gay in it?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That was, and it was controversial.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brave.
Scott Wolf playing gay. Oh.
Oh my God. Then he was in that weird TV show or the remake of V.
Yes.
Anyway, where are we at here? So Bobcat always needs a quiet room because he's very stressed out.
Oh,
He's
you,
very
you, you were
strong.
you were tickling yourself so much right now. So this was Bobcat's career, everyone, where he was still doing like the voice that made him very famous. This was before he had gotten out of that caricature that he had created of himself. So of course the audience, everything he was saying, the audience was losing their mind with laughter each thing he said.
Yeah, I mean, he still has that voice. It's just not as
It's not. I mean, his normal speaking voice is nothing like that
Well,
extreme
no,
voice.
not that extreme, but it is still very, like, it is that voice. It's just not as loud.
Right.
It's like me when in my normal speaking voice is not this quiet. Oh no, I've lost Maim. She's staring at something off in the distance.
No, I'm just contemplating what you just said.
It's true.
My speaking voice is not this quiet. What?
Everybody is very afraid. They think that he's a murderer.
Yep. Because well, I mean, wouldn't you, based on the setup?
Yep. So Blanche tells Roland to take him to his room, and Roland's like, no, you own the hotel, you go do it. So Sophia offers him a margarita as he gets into the elevator. He's like, oh, brain freeze! Ah! Then goes up the elevator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything bad, just complains.
So now we're at dinner, and Bobcat wants a steak. Chewie goes out. Chewie's like, he'll be fine. He'll understand that we don't have meat right now. I'll go out and talk to him. Goes out, and then you hear Bobcat go, where's my meat? And he turns back around. He's like, we need to get this man some meat.
Oh, jeez.
It's I've seen that gay at the bar, haven't you?
Oh, yes, girl. Yes.
Where's my meat?
Yes. I've seen a few of them like that. Oh,
Uh-huh.
gosh. I just saw one. Never mind.
What was that?
I think I just saw one of them like last week. Walking up in the Eagle and Drag, and they all look like bitter betties for their, because they were having a special night.
My one drag regret.
What?
Well, okay, I've got lots, but I've got one. There was this hot guy. He was so hot. And like so hot. And he came up to me, and he looked at me, and he said, "You're so fucking hot right now." And I just looked at him and said, "You're crazy." And I walked away. Have you seen me? And girl, this was not the beginning of the night. This was at the end of the night. You know what I look like.
I mean, that's actually more accurate because half of your makeup's already sweat off anyway, so at least he's seeing the real
My
you.
wig's tilted.
He's seeing the real you now.
Girl, I don't wear a wig all the time.
Like I said, it was half off, so
It was cocked to the side. Or it may have been turned around. You know how
it was
you
probably
do.
turned around. That's usually what happened because you usually like quickly try to put it back on, and because your head is getting sweaty and you're trying to like get back on stage,
Yes,
and
yes.
I remember.
Do you
those
glue
days.
your wigs down?
No, I don't dance, so why bother?
That's exactly was my thought. Unless
Yeah.
it was like unless the weight's like back here, there's no real reason to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I have a wig now that's an up to, and I'm kind of like, I think I'm gonna have to glue this, and I'm already like not excited about it.
You've got so much hair up there, just pin it in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do because I do have a lot of hair on top.
Cross pin.
I know how to. I know.
Well, I didn't know if you knew. I don't know what you know how to. I don't know you. I don't know where you are. In this
Trust me, honey.
journey.
Every drag queen here down here loves to give unsolicited advice.
Oh, every drag queen ever loves to give unsolicited advice. My advice: don't listen to any of them.
Oh, okay. It's gotten me this far in life with you.
Wait, what? So later on, Chewie and Sophia are playing poker.
Mm-hmm.
And like Sophia gets up to go get more margs. Blanche shows up, and Sophia Chewie says, "Sophia got my pot." And then there's finally a pot joke.
Finally.
Ha ha ha.
Why are we paying Cheech Marin all this money if we're not going to do a marijuana joke?
You think you made a lot of money for this?
I don't know. I mean, that was technically considered like a good time in his, time for him. He wasn't so much like an acting celebrity at that point, but he was like still like a big dill celebrity.
So Blanche is very upset. She's talking to Rose. Rose shows up. Blanche is very upset. She keeps getting undermined, right?
Yes. Well, you
and
don't
then
know
she
you don't know what you're doing, Blanche. That's kind of what happens.
And then she tells the story of how she always wanted to have a hotel. She wanted to go in business for herself, something she loved doing, something that, she was good at, something that was good for mankind, something that was legal. A bunch of sex jokes right there.
Everyone keeps raising their hand because there's the inevitable Blanche is a whore joke is being done again.
And we find out that Sophia had a business when she was young too.
Jeez.
Where she called Dorothy the biggest baby in the world. Everybody come in for a quarter and look, and she just put some salamis in for her arms and legs, and she looked like she was 4 feet tall.
This show, I just want to say, if this show has made some of these characters go from being like really awesome to sounding more like monsters.
Yes.
Like Sophia sounds like a terrible mother now.
Yep.
Now by this point.
So Chewy's like, Roland wants the hotel to work, just like we all want the hotel to work.
Yeah.
And Rose is like, hey, Blanche, go tell Oliver good night. Go check on him and tell him good night. And then everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm fixing the family or this hotel.
Yep. So she calls Roland and also says, Roland, go check on Oliver.
Yep. Oh.
What do you do?
So Oliver and Blanche have a cute moment. Are you going to kick me out of this hotel, Blanche?
Again.
No. You're fine. I'm not going to kick you out. Although she should have been like, yes, so I can rent this room. Why are you still here? You and Roland take up 2 prom rooms.
Oh. I mean, technically, though,
So 5 rooms. 5 rooms they cannot rent. 5 in a hotel that size. And maybe even Chewy lives there too. That's 6 rooms in a hotel that's a whole floor of a hotel, probably.
That's true.
In that hotel that they cannot rent.
Yep, and there's no basement, so.
No.
Not in Miami.
So, Roland comes in. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were in here too. I guess that, I'm doing this wrong too. He leaves. Blanche goes out to apologize. Does it very poorly. And Bobcat Goldthwait comes in and is like, they're doing it for the ice machine. He needs ice. He's like, I'm on my ice. And then he's like, everybody hug. He just wants to be needed. Okay, let's group hug. Everything's forgiven and we're at the next day.
Yep, just like nothing happened.
Sophia has a huge hangover. A sugar hangover because there was no alcohol in the
right.
bars.
She was just dangerously drinking a lot of sugar being a diabetic.
Yeah. So they're watching the TV and they find out that Bobcat Goldthwait is actually a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
But he tells all of the killers if they want to have a quiet place to stay, go to the Golden Palace.
Oh, Bobcat. Oh,
Yeah.
you.
Yes. So then we get the best joke of the entire thing. The credits are rolling, and then there is a next time on this show, bedwetters. And Rose says, and I quote, there's something we used to, huh, babe? To Sophia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute that she called her babe.
Yeah. Do 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 do. I don't know why you look so annoyed when I do that. I'm gonna do that every time for every podcast we ever do.
And I can be annoyed every time. I don't understand. This is a free country.
Not in our Designing Women podcast, Baking Sugar. Oh God. So, Maim, did you like this episode?
I loved Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's all I got.
That was 5 minutes of a 22-minute episode. Did you like the rest of the episode?
It was passable.
like a stone.
I mean, yeah, with some Geritol, yeah.
So you said that this was better than the pilot. I'm not so sure.
So
I've got some debates going on in my
I
head.
think the only reason I find this to be better than the pilot is just because we didn't do any like throwbacks really, right?
Yeah.
Like the story from Sophia about Dorothy, like that was kind of like one, but it wasn't really because that's never been told before. But like that first episode, it was drowning in nostalgia for a show that had not been off the air for very long. So that's what I mean. Like it wasn't that, it was just like the last episode. I feel like if this had been the first episode, then it would have at least started things off on like a fresh foot. Whereas the last episode was just like, why are we going through and reestablishing all this stuff? Like you guys, like this show was literally like the next season.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. It just, at least this had like not great jokes, but at least different jokes.
I agree. Bobcat was great. The rest was, oh, God.
I'm Oliver. I'm a little scamp, and I like to fleece old ladies for money.
And on that note, man, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
Oh my God, yes. If you want to find me, if you want to be my lover.
You gotta get with my friends.
Gotta get with my friends. You don't know the rest. It's fine.
No, I know every word, but we were already at 5 bars.
That's what I was like.
Make it last forever. Friendship never ends.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, I know. It wasn't the words. I thought I meant like I'm not sure if you knew the harmonies.
Oh, girl. I could be, if anything, I could be Scary Spice.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, if you want to find me online,
do you now?
If you don't, it's fine too. It's like, it's okay. Like I said, I am just a semi-professional drag queen. I'm not even a pro. So,
I mean, maybe you are. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think my rates are high enough to be considered pro. Some of these girls
or
out
low
here,
enough, one of the two.
Some of these girls out here makes the money for these appearances. Yeah, no, if you want to find me online, it's at auntie.maim. That's MAIM. If you want to find me on that's Facebook and Instagram. If you're on Twitter, I'm at Mims Ministry. And if you want to find me in real life, that sounds weird, kind of stalkery, but that's cool. I host a weekly show called Amazing Colossal Karaoke in Miami Beach on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. And I will be hosting a stand-up comedy show in a few weeks in Wilton Manors, which is the gayest little city in America, on Tuesday nights at 9, called Last Hit Lit. So there you go. What about you, my precious, my divine, my creamy textured Mims?
Oh. I don't know how I feel about that description, but here we are. Hi, I'm the Divine Miss Mims. You can find me at Divine Miss Mims on Twitter. You can find this podcast at Where's Dorothy on Twitter. Again, we have a Patreon. You can find that at Mims and Maim. Patreon.com/Mims and Maim. Let's see here. What else? I feel like I should be... rate, review, like this podcast if you do. If you don't, tell us what you would like to hear from us. But we're going to finish this one in about 22 odd weeks. So if we like what you're saying, we may pick that up after this. Right? Did that make a lick of damn sense?
No.
Okay, good. Perfect. That's my MO. All right, Maim. I think we're done here with this one. Why don't you say goodnight, Maim?
Good night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.